Well, hello. We must be bang on 8 o'clock. Look at that. How are you, challengers? How are you doing? Lurkers at the back? People who aren't even here yet? I mean, I've started and it's not even the 1st of September, so forgive me. Let's call this pre-work. Let's call this for those of you who are really raring to go, or for the ones who are taking this serious, and the ones who know that this is the time, now is the place, and I'm the one to help you through it. So I want to take you to page 56. That just on my book, of course my book. And it just flipped open at this page. You have the power to achieve all of your goals in life. Now, think about it. Imagine this. Think of this equation. What if your reality is your potential minus your distraction, right? So the reality that you have now, here today, that's your potential, but minus what's distracting you, what's getting in the way. So imagine we remove that distraction. Let's remove the distraction. What could life look like for you? Right? So what I've tried to do, I've tried to take you back to before you even were interested in alcohol. I've tried to take you back to when you were young and you thought anything was possible, before those dents in your character came and, other people started to shape who you were. And I want to take you back to when you believed anything was possible. And what it is that really excited you. What was it that lit you up? What did you want? Where did you want to spend your time? What did you want to do, be, and achieve? And it's almost like we're cracking open the door to reveal who is underneath, who is under there. A reminder of who you are. I talked about your grandmother and your grandmother's grandmothers and, go back through all of that ancestral line. And think about it, these are the witches that they didn't burn, right? And each one of them, you have that character, that strength inside of you. So just as a reminder that this will not be your first rodeo, my guess is you've smashed through some barriers in your time. And I think maybe, perhaps, you're very ambitious, you're very driven, you're successful in many areas of your life, yet this one thing keeps pulling you back. And maybe you've tried many times and you've been spinning round and spinning round. You're not alone. This is not just happening to you. Okay, so I want you to remove any judgment, any shame, any worry of anything like that. We're all here together and we all want something different than what we've got. So this is an opportunity for you to take stock, right? I've been studying this stuff for 3 years now. What happened was I volunteered to work in a recovery centre. It was the recovery clinic where my friend went. I was curious. I wanted to know, what did they say? What did they do? Who went to these places? It was a voluntary place that you could just turn up and refer yourself, but I didn't feel I was bad enough to quit. In my head, I didn't fit the profile. So I turned up as a volunteer, which opened my eyes to a different world. And really what it did was cement that it wasn't really a place where I would have felt was me leveling up my life and choosing to be ambitious instead of drunk. It was somewhere where people went because stuff had gone wrong. Like for me, it hadn't gone wrong just now. Things weren't falling apart. I was managing to hold it together, but I still wanted to choose something different. And I knew that wouldn't work for me. So if it wouldn't work for me, I knew it wouldn't work for anybody else out there who was just like me. So I went on a journey to figure it out first for myself and then so I could help other people because I knew I wasn't the only person with this problem. And the first client I met was a lady who was 38 at the time and she had learning difficulties. And she, like me, felt like she needed a drink to be sociable and to fit in. And like me, she was worried by not drinking, which should be cast aside and she would have no friends. And we made this connection, and we really recognized that what this was, it was part of our identity. It was part of our friendship groups. It was part of the culture where we lived. It was our parents drank, our friends, it was everywhere. Unless you were prepared to take that label of alcoholic, which I didn't want to take. I wanted to make this decision from a position of choice, from a strong position of choosing me in personal development. I mean, if I look back now, my relationship was in tatters, my health was a joke, and my business wasn't really, well, it was dragging me down. It wasn't what I was choosing. None of what I had in my life, I didn't feel I was in control. Yet I was creating it, I was accepting it, that was my standard, and that was who I was turning up to be. I just constantly felt like I was letting myself down. And there wasn't anybody really but myself who felt that. To everyone else, it looked successful. It looked like I was having a good time. But inside, something inside of me was just, it was just not there. And when my friend came back in my life, she woke me up to that. She really woke me up to it. And I started questioning what I was calling fun. So I hope that this week is going to wake you up to you questioning that. And it might be a really long journey. You might not feel ready and prepared to do this now, but you'll always remember what cracked that door open, what made you start looking at the situation differently, because it's not your fault. This is something that we've pushed on each other with birthday cards, and we've made each other feel like we deserve it. So don't find it like surprising that it's going to be hard. Like, think of all the times, like the fashion that's come and gone, and the music and the makeup and the just everything, the TV shows, the people who were famous who you no longer hear of. But the one thing that we've always stood true to is alcohol. And this is just an opportunity to say, let's put it down and see if it improves my life. And that was all I did. I did that as an experiment to see if things would improve. And they did. They did improve, which is why I'm here with you today. So the thing that really motivates you out of the three things, which one is nipping you? Now, if you've got my book, I think it's on page 51, did I say? 49, yeah, 51 is where we start on about this, right? So step one, we always start with declutter. So it's about feeling like you're in control of your environment. So you might start with something simple, just like your makeup bag or your knicker drawer, somewhere where you get to make the decisions and you can choose what stays and what goes. And once you feel in control of that, I want you to brain dump everything that's in your mind, brain dump it all out, so that you've got a clear head, like the best you can. This isn't a to-do list. This is just, oh, I'm sick of thinking about that. I'm thinking about this. I mean, that might end up being quite a task. Give yourself time. Light a candle, play some music, some nice relaxing music. Take your time with this. This is about really listening into what's in your heart and getting all of that noise out of your head. And then really start looking at what's out there. What is there? Is it your health that's concerning you? Is it your wealth? Is it money? Is it your job? Your business? Or is it your relationship? A relationship could be a relationship with yourself as well. It doesn't have to be just like a romantic relationship. So those three areas, your health, that could be your mental health, your physical health, how you look, how you feel. Your wealth, how you earn money. Are you worried about that? I mean, if you think about it, these three areas of being attacked, under attack. Like Brexit, when we're all worried about that, we're tearing relationships apart, different people having different ideas and different, values. So relationships were really under strain in that time. And then from that, we went straight into COVID. Our health was threatened, our loved ones, our lives. We saw people die, and like these numbers kept going up and up. Our health was top of our mind then. And now, everywhere you turn, it's about money. It's about people talking about bills and finances and concerns. So a lot of this together is overwhelming. What this opportunity is for you to just try and break it down for you, under your roof, under your quilt, right? In your head, what is it that's really top of mind for you? You know, just to try and drill it down a little bit, to stop it being so overwhelming. And in the book, I refer to that as your dot. So as your dot, your health, your wealth, or your relationship. And that can change. And don't get caught up, don't get stuck and think, oh, I can't choose, just choose one. They're all linked. If you really go deep, they're all linked, and surely your health outtrumps everything. There is a saying that people have 1,000,000 wishes, and someone who without their health has only one wish. So for me, it's always been health, but it's going to be different for each one of us. It's going to depend on our experience. Like, I lost my dad when he was only 45. And although we'd never called it was to do with alcohol, he died of cancer. And he didn't eat properly, he drank too much, and he smoked. So as I was coming up to the age where I lost my father, health again was in my mind. This is my second marriage. I didn't want to have a broken relationship. We'd split up before. I didn't want my relationship to break down. That was always important to me too. And my business, the business I chose 10 years previous, didn't serve me anymore. It was making me miserable. It was making me into someone I didn't want to be. So all three of my areas were nipping. So don't get overwhelmed if this is the same for you, but this is just an opportunity that I wish somebody had given me to try to break it down so I could concentrate on one. Just one at a time. So if we can try and do that, brilliant. If not, that's no problem. Right? So thank you for playing along. Thank you if you're jumping in early in these pre-workshop extra videos. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye from me.